by David Makela.
Fellow Toastmasters, our Toastmaster is Toastmaster. S. Thank you for allowing me to evaluate David Makela's speech. David, you gave a speech in a format that I've never heard before, so it was new to me. I want to first compliment you on using a prop from the very start, using the bell itself. I think that was a sound start to introduce the speech. Sort of got everybody's attention as well. And you led into the topic of dysfunctional teams to introduce how, without that strategy of using those hats, many teams are not able to provide feedback in a proper way to get to a consensus which allows results to be aligned amongst the team. So I think that was a great introduction, that use of dysfunctional teams. I couldn't remember the author, but the great start there. You used the phrase "entered into some conflict." So I like the fact that you introduced from the very start that we may engage in some conflict, that there may be some disagreements amongst the team. So hence the goal is to find that consensus in those conflicts. That you would present two sides of the case, that you would allow feedback to come from one side and the other. And I like that as well. One of the things that I believe that you could have improved on in the areas of the various hats, when you introduced the theme of the various hats, is if anyone had heard that before, if they had used it effectively in their workspace or even in their personal life to manage some level of conflict or consensus. Maybe even giving an example from one of your clients as you've used it in the past. In the very beginning, you also introduced the blue hat, and then you sort of went from the blue hat then to the white hat, and you sort of glazed over what that blue hat represented. And it might have been a better start to say, I am the blue hat in this discussion. The blue hat is going to listen to all of your feedback, and I'm going to manage all of your comments on this whiteboard, and at the very end, we're going to come to a consensus as to whether the bell is going to be used or not used. In addition, you spoke about the proper context. So in two different instances, Mike's feedback and my feedback wasn't really relevant for that hat, and you didn't discard it, you would just associate it with the proper area. So I like that you used that feedback as well, just in a different area. The area of black, I think you could have worked on a bit more in terms of how useful that is. It says it's the most useful hat. I didn't really get that when we were discussing it. It's kind of like the meat of the discussion. But all in all, I think you presented the content well. You allowed everyone to come to consensus. The only last feedback I could offer is that at the very beginning, middle, and end, you could have taken a vote and see where the discussion progressed, and whether there was an improvement there.
Good.
Thank you so much for allowing me to evaluate the speech. And,
John.
Okay,
That's pretty good, Harley. Yeah, very helpful.